As John Platt and Bill Kearns come by, I want you to look to the left, because on the left, the FA-18 will now spool up its two General Electric F404 engines, producing over 36 pounds of thrust. It's on the roll. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the 2010 Rhode Island National Guard Open House and Air Show from Naval Air Station Oceana, your United States Navy's A-18C Hornet. Will approach at nearly Mach 1, demonstrating the ability to surprise the enemy using high speed. As he reaches show center, he'll select full afterburner and pull up into the vertical, subjecting himself to 8 times the force of gravity. The FA-18 Hornet has been in service with the United States Navy since 1978. So good is this design that subsequent aircraft to replace the F-14 Tomcat with an extension of the Hornet called the Super Hornet. But from the right, here comes the high-speed pass. See a bright glow. That means that raw jet fuel is being poured into the exhaust, something that is called the afterburner. It gives it a tremendous kick in the pants to get into or out of a fight very rapidly. Now, Bob is going to demonstrate a maneuver designed in World War I by German ace Max Immelmann. It is a half a loop and then a half a roll, an evasive maneuver. He's going to show you a double Immelmann in only 6,000 feet of altitude. Here comes the Hornet's double Immelmann. This airplane weighs about 23,000 pounds. Fully loaded, 56,000 pounds. In this configuration, we see the incredible thrust-to-weight ratio capabilities of the FA-18 Hornet. As Bob now points the airplane straight back down toward the runway, with a quick 3/4 of an aileron roll, he will extend away from the crowd. All Navy fighter pilots undergo a grueling 2 years of flight training before earning their wings of gold. Lieutenant Jaquith earned his wings of gold from Naval Air Station Meridian, Mississippi in April of 2004. During his tour with the VFA-34 Blue Blasters of Oceana, Virginia, he completed 2 carrier deployments. He has since accrued over 1,500 flight hours, including more than 250 carrier-arrested landings aboard aircraft carrier, and has flown numerous combat missions in support of Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom. From the left, he's setting up now for what is known as the minimum radius turn. Whether you're in a dogfight or while avoiding surface-to-air missiles, the ability of the Hornet to turn around in a very tight space gives it a tremendous tactical advantage. From the left, Brent Jaquith in the Hornet's minimum radius turn. He'll reach show center, throw the stick to the left 90 degrees and back, and yank hard on the sticks, subjecting himself to with VFA-34 School Tactics Instructors Course, also known as Top Gun. He now serves as an instructor pilot with the East Coast Hornet Training Squadron, VFA 106 in Oceana, Virginia. He's qualified to instruct in both the Hornet that you see here today, as well as the Navy's newest strike fighter, the F-A-18E and F Super Hornet. One unique characteristic that all Navy aircraft must possess is the ability to land on an aircraft carrier at sea with a moving and sometimes pitching flight deck. Navy and Marine Corps pilots are trained to hit the landing area with pinpoint accuracy in what is not so much of a landing as it is a controlled crash. He's approaching at 175 miles an hour, flying a descending turn to a 3/4 mile final approach point. This speed only allows about 15 seconds to precisely adjust the flight path in order to touch down in an area not much larger than your driveway. Notice as the Hornet approaches from the right, the gear is extended, and the tail hook is also extended. It is the tail hook that allows the FA-18 to land and stop in under 400 feet. When he passes show center, he'll go gear up, flaps up, hook up, and he will then go to full active rudder and demonstrate. Here is 5/8 of the lift. Watch him throw the stick to the right to get the FRA. I should say throw the stick to the left this time. Right there in that turn, we experienced some 7 times the force of gravity. Now Lieutenant Jaquith will perform his repositioning maneuver to align his aircraft with the show line. He'll reach show center at just over 300 miles per hour and demonstrate the superb nose authority and the ability of the F-18 to point at an adversary aircraft. In a very short space, you'll see the Hornet change direction from a horizontal flight path to straight up. It is this ability, combined with an awesome arsenal of air-to-air weapons, that makes the FA-18 a world-class fighter that is feared worldwide. This is the pitch rate demo. He'll yank that stick back into his lap and he'll be pointed straight up in a matter of about 2 seconds. Let's watch. Will highlight the exceptional slow-speed capabilities of the FA-18. The Hornet is famous for its ability to fly slower than any other comparable fighter. No other aircraft would dare to attempt to maneuver at these speeds, but the FA-18 Hornet remains completely controllable through the use of 2 flight control computers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the slow speed passed. The top speed of this aircraft is nearly 1,200 miles per hour. Let's go live to the cockpit and say hello to Lieutenant Jaquith. Hey, Bob, how slow are you going, buddy?
Slowing down, sir. We're capacity 140 in the head now.
And I bet you're going to get even slower, aren't you?
We're going to work it.
Slow us down. Talk us through it, Bob.
Yeah, we're at about 25 alpha now, 600 feet.
25 degrees.
120 knots in the head. Now, my friend, is 30 alpha.
30 degrees. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. 30 degrees high. The airplane will up over 3,000 maneuver as he accelerates down over 400 miles per hour. It is just phenomenal to watch this airplane go so very, very rapidly. He's going to demonstrate the technique used by every Navy and Marine pilot to slow his or her aircraft and prepare it for the landing. The Hornet's going to approach from the left at 500 feet and perform the overhead brake. He will then go into a decelerating 360-degree turn. Once the gear and flaps are lowered, he's going to set up for a final approach and do a touch and go. I'll have you listen for those precise power changes as he gets close to the runway. Right now, this is what they do when they're coming into the carrier to land. It is very crowded on the deck of the carrier. During flight operations, they will land an airplane every 45 seconds. From the left, the A-18 Hornet's carrier brake. Extends away, Lieutenant Jaquith will lower the gear and flaps, and we're going to see a demonstration of what happens if the tailhook were not to catch one of those 4 steel cables stretched across the deck of the aircraft carrier. No matter what happens, the pilot, whether he or she catches one of those wires or not, shoves the throttles forward in case of a bolter or a skipping of the hook over those wires, so that he has the power or she has the power to go around. Let's listen carefully for these precise power changes as he expertly guides the F-A-18 down toward the runway. We should be able to hear this very, very carefully. Aiming for a precise point on the runway. And then we'll see it go around. The landing signal officer, or the LSO, would then call bolter, bolter, bolter if that hook missed all the wires. Bolter, bolter, bolter. One more big round of applause for Lieutenant Brent Jaquith in the F-A-18 Hornet. To an Air Force pilot who is on exchange with the United States Navy, who flew in the second jet, the spare, and that's Major Tony Baron-Coven, and he's a former United States Air Force F-15 West Coast Demonstration Team demo pilot. And Baron is here. It's great to have him here representing both the United States Air Force and the United States Navy. Get your cameras ready, folks. We're going to see a photo pass. And what I think he's going to do is extend around behind us so we can do an arcing pass from the right around to the left. And we'll be able to see a great shot right down into the office of the F-A-18 Hornet. From the right, and the photo pass, here's the Hornet. The United States Air Force was looking for a new lightweight fighter. There were 2 competitors. One was the General Dynamics YF-16. The other was the Northrop YF-17. Well, the YF-16 became the General Dynamics and now Lockheed Martin F-16 Fighting Falcon, flown by the United States Air Force Thunderbirds. And the YF-17, built by Northrop, was destined to be an airplane that would go down in history as a loser. But the Navy looked at that design and liked the idea of 2 engines on that YF-17. So they got together with the folks at McDonnell Douglas. And they redesigned the landing gear, made some other changes, and that basic design of the YF-17 that lost with the Air Force became a huge winner for the United States Navy. As a matter of fact, the United States Navy's flight demonstration, the Blue Angels, continue to fly and have for over 25 years the A-18 Hornet. And here, from Naval Air Station Oceana, Virginia, Strike Fighter Squadron 106, the Gladiators, we have Lieutenant Brent Jaquith getting ready to land. He's going to put it down here on runway 16. He'll taxi by the crowd, he'll have the canopy up, and you'll be able to see him kind of face-to-face and let him know how much you appreciate not only his demonstration, but his service. Been cleared to land. You can see him out there about a mile and a half out, flying that carrier approach, that oval where he keeps an eye, always has an eye on the deck of the carrier. In flight operations, it's an angled carrier deck, and it is moving away from the pilot all the time. They have what they call a flight path indicator, and they can put that in their HUD heads-up display, and they put that on the spot on the runway where they want to touch down. Each and every landing that these pilots make is graded. As a matter of fact, on every Marine Corps Air Station and Naval Air Station runway, there is, painted on the runway, an aircraft carrier landing area. So they literally have to put it right down on the proper spot. You can see the speed breakup between the twin tails of the F-A-18 Hornet. McDonnell Douglas started it. Now it's Boeing in St. Louis, Missouri. This design, as I mentioned earlier, so good that when the Navy was looking for a replacement for the F-14 Tomcat, which was retired on September 22nd of 2006 from over 30 years service with the United States Navy, the airplane that replaced it was the F-A-18 Super Hornet with more powerful engines, a longer fuselage stretched by about 3 feet, and improved radar and weapons control capabilities. But again, that same design serving the Navy very, very well. The F-A-18 Super Hornet first flew in 1995, as I recall. And now they're serving with units all over the United States Navy and Marine Corps. There's one really easy way to spot the difference between the F-A-18 Legacy Hornet that you see here and the Super Hornet, and that is the shape of the jet intake for the twin. They are squared off of the Super Hornet and particularly here on the Legacy Hornet. That is Lieutenant Brent Jaquith. There he goes. Yanking the stick to give a little salute back to y'all.